Hey, scholars. So I have an opportunity to talk with you again. So we're going to talk about how to integrate information from various resources. So I'm going to share my screen and just continue to be patient, please. Let's see this. Let's start with our daily affirmation. Ready? I am an awesome, brilliant child, determined eternally for greatness, helpful, intelligent, joyful, kind, loving, mindful, and naturally outstanding. Phenomenal, questioning, respectable, smart, talented, unique, and virtuous, wise. Exciting, youthful, and zealous, and then some. Cool. So, per usual, we're going to pick our norm for the day. So, are you well dressed, well organized, well balanced, well read, well spoken, or well traveled? You have 7 seconds. Cool. I trust that you picked something awesome. So, we're going to integrate information from various resources. Integrating information presented in different media or formats, for example, with visuals or quantitatively, as well as in words to develop a coherent understanding of a topic or issue. So, when you integrate information, we're looking for text features, elements such as boldface type headings, rather, boldface type, headings, and subheadings that help organize and call attention to important information. Text features help readers better understand a text and its topic. When we integrate or synthesize information, it means that we take individual pieces of information and combine them in order to develop a more basic understanding of that one topic, but a conglomerate or coherent collaboration or teamwork partnership of different concepts, all for an understanding of one topic. When we integrate, we want to ask ourselves, how does the author use these photographs and even captions to help clarify those ideas? As we read, let's pay close attention to the different ways animals snoop and the reasons why. Cool. Animal snoops. Presenting the Bird Brain Burglar Bus. The house in Memphis, Tennessee sat empty. The coast was clear for a robbery. Quickly and secretively, the three young burglars checked the windows and doors and found a way in. They piled up computers, DVD players, and other electronic equipment. The thieves talked as they worked, paying no attention to the parrot, nearly motionless in its cage. Only when the crooks were ready to make their getaway did the bird finally pipe up. JJ, it said plainly. JJ? JJ? Marshmallow, a 6-year-old green parrot, had been quietly eavesdropping, and the private eye parrot had learned a thing or two, including the nickname of one of the robbers, JJ. Notice the word on this side, it's a new vocab word. It says eavesdrop, eavesdrop. To eavesdrop is to listen secretly to others' private conversations. We know what it means to eavesdrop, right? So I just wanted to quickly point out a text feature or something that we think might help call attention to important information. So that word eavesdrop, we notice it's highlighted or it's in bold face type. Why do you think it is? Well, if they're talking about a burglar bust, something secretive is happening because there's a burglary, someone's stealing. Therefore, they're probably talking about eavesdropping to make a connection between the word eavesdropping and the burglary. Why do you think the heading might add to the text? it does introduce the parrot in a funny way that's in repetition of words. So this way we get a better concept of what the story is really going to tell us about. Let's turn the page. The burglars fled, but soon realized that the parrot knew too much. They were afraid the bird would stool on them, said Billy Riley, a local police officer. When the thieves returned to the crime scene to nab the bird, police captured them. The Memphis crooks hadn't counted on Marshmallow's talent as an eavesdropper. Why would they? Few people imagine that animals can be highly skilled spies and snoops, yet nature is filled with them. More and more scientists are discovering that creatures from bugs to baboons are experts at watching, listening, and prying into the lives of other animals. While eavesdropping help to foil human criminals, wild spies work for their own benefit. Spying can be the best or fastest way to find food or a mate, or get early warning of a predator. Until recently, researchers preferred to think of communication between animals as similar to two people talking privately. But wildlife sounds and signals are often loud or bright enough that it is easy for others to listen in. It's like having conversations on social media that every one of your friends and maybe some of your enemies can read. Animal messages are often detected by audiences that were not meant to get wind of them. Hungry gopher snakes, for example, use foot drumming signals between kangaroo rats to locate a snaky snack. Female chickadees listen in on singing contests of pterodactyl males when choosing a mate. Biologists call it eavesdropping. It sounds sneaky, but it works well, and some animals are doubly sneaky, changing their behavior when they expect to be overheard. The animal communication network is far more complicated than researchers used to believe. The stakes in wild spy games are high. Eavesdropping can determine whether animals mate, find a home, or enjoy sneaky life instead of meeting sudden death. Quickly before we turn the page, notice the word foil. It says if you foil someone, you stop that person from being successful at something. A predator. A predator is an animal that survives by eating other animals. And stake. A stake is something that can be gained or lost in a situation such as money, food, or life. Let's turn the page. So this page ends with it can reveal whom they should trust and even affect the evolution of songs and signals. Naturally, clever secret agents learn from the snooping that help them survive and pass their genes to the next generation. It's one more tool that crafty creatures use to understand the world around them. So, as we look around, do we notice that animal communication is often loud or bright and easy to understand for each other? But for people, it's kind of like social media where we can see and read what other people have written. The reference to social media makes the idea very understandable because most readers will use or have used social media. Let's look at the next section. The next section is titled The Hungry Spy, Spying and Prying Predators. The path home was one of the eastern chipmunk had traveled 100 times before, under the ferns to the narrow tunnel into his burrow. The small animal ran briskly through the quiet Pennsylvania forest. Suddenly, a flash and a sting. The startled chipmunk jumped. Dried leaves scattered. A sharp pain seared his haunches. Scrambling away, he glimpsed the motionless length of a timber rattlesnake. The ambush had succeeded. The deadly serpent had lain coiled and still for many hours, waiting. Even now, after striking, the snake was in no hurry. She would track down the chipmunk's lifeless body after her venom had done its work. Patience is among the most practiced skill of a rattlesnake. Snooping is another. Before choosing an ambush site, timber rattlesnakes study the habits of their prey. Using their highly sensitive, flickering tongues, the snakes use scent clues to reveal the routines of rodents and other tasty animals. Their tongues are so remarkable that they also pry into the hunting habits of other rattlesnakes. Sensing the difference between a recently fed rattlesnake and a hungry one, they use the clues to hide where another snake has dined, and hunting is likely to be successful. For many animals, snooping and spying can mean the difference between a full stomach and starvation. Some creatures, like the rattlesnake, spy on the habits of their prey. Others intercept private communication and think of the signals as a call for supper. Botanist fireflies, for instance, broadcast their mating messages with a light show. Before we turn the page, let's look at the word intercept. To intercept is to stop or to interrupt something. Cool. These plant eating beetles flash luminescent abdomens to wow potential mates on warm North American summer nights. A bigger relative is named Furturis. They also blink biological tail lights during courtship, but are not always looking for a mate. These fireflies are predators that eat their smaller phytinous cousins. They spy on their blinking prey and follow the flashing beacon to a nighttime meal. In the still frigid early spring of northern Europe, a male moor frog begins his tuneless chorus, wog, 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 not minding that the ice has barely loosened its grip on the pond edge. The frog has emerged from wintering beneath marsh bottom muck. He's all to set up attract He's all set to attract female moor frogs the moment they wake from chilly months of sleep. Wog, 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 wham! And here's a flashing phytinous firefly. Looks good to his mate, but he looks delicious to his Photorus cousin. Notice also the word luminous, rather luminescent is on there. It's to lightly brighten up. Let's just finish this section and then we can reconvene later. It says, with a lightning strike, the long lance-like bill of a white stork jabs through the marsh grass and snatches up the singing frog. In an instant, the tireless music maker becomes the dinner of a spy. White storks are master eavesdroppers. They rely on the songs of moor frogs to guide them when they're hunting. The birds are so skillful that they can stealthily follow frog sounds to within 2 or 3 strides of an unsuspecting singer. Some spies can interpret, I'm sorry guys. Some spies can interpret signals sent by plants. Bright flowers invite bees and other animals to come for a meal of pollen or nectar and to pollinate the plants at the same time. Scientists believe that the most symmetrical flowers, where each half mirrors the other, like two sides of a face, help bees and birds recognize them as healthy with top quality pollen and nectar. But crab spiders are deadly spies. They love to eat honeybees and know all about this flower bee communication system. These sneaky spiders build their bee trapping webs next to good looking, symmetrical blooms that bees are more likely to visit. So let's just take a second to look at these things over here. So initially it says the author uses an anecdote to introduce the topic. What important ideas are illustrated in an anecdote? Let's quickly talk about what an anecdote is. An anecdote is a short account of an event that is usually intended to entertain or make a point. So the author uses an anecdote to introduce the topic. Each time they mention things such as the hungry spy spying and prying predators, or presenting the bird brain burglar bust. They continue to do different concepts to grab the reader's attention, I notice, but your answers can vary. I also noticed that it says we have to infer. The author refers to the animals in text as spies and snoops. What does he mean by this? We'll talk about it. I want you to quickly look at this layout of what it looks like to analyze a text with anecdote, and then how do we integrate information as we've already mentioned. Cool. So guys, I'm going to stop sharing, and I hope to see you soon. I miss you and I love you. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye.